within 2 days only, because I have already prepared the video. I need to upload it in YouTube, and after that I will just upload it in our e-portal. From there you will get the question answers. There might be 5 to 6 questions and their answers from the second chapter. And I hope you can remember the second chapter was diversity and discrimination. The name of the second chapter was diversity and discrimination. This one we have completed, and the question answers, some questions and their answers, I have just prepared a video and I will upload it in our e-portal within tomorrow. I will try my level best. Within tomorrow the video will be uploaded in our e-portal. Today we will start another chapter, the third chapter. And our third chapter is what is government, or better to say what is government. So you just listen to me properly, because I know you are not having your books. You must have heard the word government mentioned several times, and especially during this time, that means this environment of COVID-19, or during this pandemic celebration, better to say this pandemic celebration of COVID-19, many a times you have heard the word government, 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 government hospital, government is not taking any step, government is not doing anything, or government has taken this step. So several times you have heard this word government. Now what is government? This one we are going to study in this chapter. In this chapter we will learn about what a government is and the important role it plays in our lives. What do governments do? How do they decide what to do? What is the difference between different types of governments, such as monarchies and democracies? Read more and find out. So here are some sort of slogan type given. Government sought to protect rights of unorganized workers. That means government must take some sort of initiative to protect rights of unorganized workers. Then detailed plan to tackle floods soon, says government. So government is saying that we have just made a detailed plan, or we have just taken measures enough to tackle flood. Government fixes price of onions, says no shortage in market. Supreme Court can have 5 more judges. Government, I mean the government is saying that the Supreme Court can have 5 more judges. Government for revamping coal and power sector. Revamping means to just search out some measures. Okay. Over 15,000 villages declared scarcity hit by government. Sir, Shourav sir has told in PT1 there will be no exam for the subject civics. Yes. During your this PT1 exam, no questions from this civics book or this part of civics you are going to get, because you are not having the book. Only Moinak Ghosh he has written I have book, and Aruni also has mentioned that he is having the book. But most of you are not having the book. That's why this decision has been taken that this time for PT1 you will get questions from history and geography only, not from civics. Okay, every country needs a government to make decisions and get things done. So these can be decisions about where to build roads and schools, or how to reduce the price of onions when they get too expensive, or ways to increase the supply of electricity. So every country needs a government. That means a ruling body or a ruling committee who can decide and get things done. Some problems are there, that committee, that is the ruling committee or that governing body, it has to just settle the disputes and solve the matters. It has to decide What decisions? Decisions about where to build roads and schools, or how to reduce the price of onions when they get too expensive, or ways to increase the supply of electricity. The government also takes action on many social issues. For example, it has several programs to help the poor. It does other important things such as running postal and railway services. The government also has the job of protecting the boundaries of the country and maintaining peaceful relations with other countries. So our boundaries of the country, it must be protected. And who is going to just see all these things, that whether each boundary is protected or not, whether a peaceful relation is maintained with other countries or not? This is the work of government to to protect the boundaries of the country and to maintain peaceful relations with other countries. It is responsible for ensuring that all its citizens have enough to eat and have good health facilities. This is also the function. This is also another function of the government, that it is responsible for what? To ensure that whether the citizens, they are getting enough to eat, and whether they are in good health facilities. That means whether they are getting good health facilities. When there are natural disasters like this tsunami or an earthquake, it is the government that mainly organizes aid and assistance for the affected people. Just few days ago, Amphan, it was there. It just brought enough disaster for this, mostly for this West Bengal and the Orissa. So mostly for West Bengal only we know that it was just created such a disaster, and at that time the government has taken initiatives to just check whether the people who are suffering the most due to this Amphan, they are getting their required food, the required health facilities, the required water supply properly or not. So whenever there is any natural disaster like this tsunami, or this any type of this cyclone like this Amphan, or anything like this, or an earthquake, at that time it is the government that mainly organizes aid, that means the help and assistance for the affected people. If there is a dispute, or if someone has committed a crime, you find people in a court. So if you see that somebody has done something wrong, at that time that person is seen in the court, because the actions will be taken against him or her. Courts are also part of the government. So these courts you can find, Bardwan court you have seen, it is also the part of the government. Perhaps you are wondering how governments manage to do all these, and why it is necessary for them to do so. When human beings live and work together, there needs to be some amount of organization so that decisions can be made. So human beings, when they are living in a society, at that time, there some people are required who will check everything. We will check the maintenance, who will look after these facilities, who will look after these sort of problems which are created in the societies, and they will deal with them. So when human beings live and work together, there needs to be some amount of organization so that decisions can be made. The most important thing is to decide. Who will decide? Who will say, yes, this decision is correct, this is for the welfare of all? Who is going to do all these things? The government is there to decide all these things. The government will take the decisions, the government will check for all these things, the government will maintain the things like this, the boundaries, the welfare of the citizens of the country, all these things will be seen by the government. And if people are getting affected due to natural disaster, at that time also, whether they are getting aid or whether they are getting assistance or not, it is seen by the government. And government every time it tries its level best to help the people. So some rules have to be made that apply to everyone. For example, there is a need to control resources and protect the territory of a country so people can feel secure. Governments do this on behalf of their people by exercising leadership, taking decisions and implementing this among all the people living in their territory. So some rules have to be made that apply to everyone. So if when a rule has been made, that rule must be applicable for one and all. That means for everybody. All must follow that rule. For example, there is a need to control resources and protect the territory of a country, so people can feel secure. So government do these on behalf of their people by exercising leadership, taking decisions and implementing these among all the people living in their territory. So government at that time, what it does, it selects a leader or leaders, then the decisions are taken, and when the decisions are taken, those decisions are implemented. That means these decisions, they are actually the laws, and these laws or the rules, they are implemented. That means they are exercised. So levels of government. Now that you know that the government is responsible for so many different things, can you think of how it manages to do all this? The government works at different levels, at the local level, at the level of the state, and at the national level. So we can find over here that the government works at different levels. I am writing this on the board. So the government, or better to say the three levels. The government works at different levels, three levels of the government. Are local level, then state level, and third one is national level. So these are the three levels. I am reading once more here that the government works at different levels, at the local level, at the state level, and at the national level. The local level means in your village, town or locality. The state level would mean that which covers an entire state like Haryana, West Bengal or Assam, and the national level relates to the entire country. So children, with this we are completing today's class, or we have come to the end of the class. Those who are having the books, you give a tick mark up to this one, and the next class we will again start from these levels of government. We will start from this portion only. Now if you are having any query or doubt, you can ask me. Anubhav, state level governs states like Punjab, Gujarat. Sir, we have to write this. If you are having the book, then there is no need to write. It is the most costliest cyclone recorded in the North Indian Ocean. Hey, what is happening over here? Diptak, state level. Sir, our locality, there are some people, peoples cannot be used. People who don't follow the laws of government. And government spelling is also wrong, Tanas. Local level governs in small areas like city, village, etc. Sir, if there is a war or disaster, it will cost more in it will cost more in other countries. That means, sir, if there is a war or disaster, it will cost more in other countries. That means, I really didn't understand, Aruni. Okay, no doubt, sir, no problem, sir. Sir, what is Supreme Court? Deep talk. Supreme Court. It is the highest court of the country. It is the highest court of the country, the Supreme Court. It means that dollar will be costlier. Dollar will be costlier. In which sense? I do think that when we will meet, Aruni, you need to just explain me in details. Deep stuff, okay. So children, with this, we are completing our class here only, or ending our class here only. And in our next class, we will again start from this one, the levels of government. Till then, stay at home and just go through the chapters properly. Now, you will say, sir, we are not having the book, how we will go through? Just you will try to listen these recordings again. You will go through these recordings again. Okay, bye.